Okay, video number 5, last part in the 5-part video series. So today we're going to talk about, it's going to be twofold. One is going to be driving for dollars and door knocking, and 2 is going to be asking for referrals. So we're essentially going to do both at the same time. So when people think about door knocking, they kind of close off, right? They think, oh man, I can't do that. Like I can't go talk to a stranger. If you're an extroverted person, this probably sounds like no big deal to you because you probably have no fear. If you're an introverted person like I am, this is probably going to sound very scary and very hard to do, at least at first. But I want you to think about it this way, okay? First of all, I want you to just do this exercise, and today I want you to go out and I want you to drive what I would consider like a C class type area, potentially even a B class type area, okay, and certainly a D class. And that means there's going to be a C class area is going to have, that's about 50-50, right? They're about half of the houses are going to be fairly nice, and about half of the houses are going to be have some type of distress in them. So I want you to drive one of those areas, and I want you to just take notice of how much distressed houses there are. And you're going to see, and just through one neighborhood, you're going to find several, potentially dozens. And think about this over the course of your entire metro population. If you live in a relatively decent sized area, it is going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of distressed houses where the people probably do not have the money to fix them up, right? They might have some equity, but they don't have the money to fix them up. When you think about a house getting to the point of needing a new roof, new siding, new windows, or a paint job, garage door, concrete work, landscaping, interior remodel, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 or more. Most people don't have that sitting in their checking account able to do the repairs. So what's that leave them as far as the alternative? Either one, they sell their house and capture some equity, or 2, they continue living in their house and it's just going to continue to get more distressed. Their value is actually going to go down, not up, because their house is getting more distressed every single year, right? So think of the ability to solve that problem. You need to think of yourself as an asset in the scenario and your ability to solve their problem, okay? If you think of yourself as, oh, well, I'm going to be soliciting, I'm going to be getting on their nerves, I'm going to be causing a problem, they're not going to want to hear from me, well, then it's going to make it a lot harder to get through to them. But if you think of yourself as an asset of, I can really solve some problems here, I can potentially get them out of this house, get the house to one of my rehabber investors, one of my landlords that's going to fix the house up, make it into a nice asset for the neighborhood, and I can potentially get the owner of this house some cash and get them into a new home, you're solving a major problem, right? So you are a vital asset in the community and for the seller. So think of yourself that way, right? Portray yourself that way. And when you do, now going out and talking to people, knocking on doors and stuff is not nearly as hard because you're thinking yourself favorably versus negatively. Okay, does that make sense? So that's, first of all, the most important part to understand of it all. Anytime you're going to be going out like door knocking and talking to people, you need to think of yourself in a certain way first in order to portray that confidence and expect them to think of you that way. Okay, all right. So we got that squared away. So first, I want you to drive around and I want you to just acknowledge and see how much distress there is. When your eyes become open to this, you'll never be able to go backwards. You'll always say, man, there are so many distressed houses in the city. So many, thousands. You'll never be able, this is why I think of this business in such a great way, is because it's such good job security, right? I will never go out of business. I will never go out of business because if I ever get low on inventory, all I got to do is go talk to people, right? All I got to do is go make some offers. Boom, problem solved. Your financial worries should never, ever be a problem again, because once you see the amount of distress out there, it'll never, like, you can never buy them all, right? I mean, there's so many. So once you see how much distress there is there, I want you just to go out and maybe once a week, go take a walk in a different neighborhood. Go take a walk in a different neighborhood each week and start talking to people, and just start door knocking and talk to people. Here's how you want to approach it. It's twofold. First off, you want to say, "Hi, my name is Mark Lane. I'm an investor in the area. I'm looking for some houses to buy, and I'm just wondering if you know anybody that's looking to sell their house." So what do we do there? We take the pressure off of them, right? Because you're not saying, "I want to buy your house. I'll make you a cash offer." Instead, you're saying, "Do you know anybody else in the area that's looking to sell their house?" So you take that pressure off. One, they're going to say yes, or they're going to say no, right? You follow it after that, after they answer, "Well, would you have any interest in selling your house if I could make you a cash offer and be flexible on the closing date?" And then you stop and you let them talk. They're either going to say no, I'm not interested right now, or they're probably going to say, "Well, what kind of offer do you have?" And you say, "Well, do you mind, would it be a good time right now for me to come in and take a look and just kind of look at the overall condition and talk to you for a few minutes? Or would it be better to set up a time later on this week or next week? What works best for you?" Okay. And you listen and you answer. And then, it's going to lead you down the path of, you're going to find out if they have some motivation to sell. You're going to find out if, essentially what their situation is. But really, at this point, you're just wanting to listen, okay? If you get in the door, if you can get an appointment set up, from there, then you go into active listening. And you just want to listen to find out if they have any problems that you can solve, and if they have a house that you can potentially buy, right? So then the second part of the situation is you want to ask for referrals, okay? All right, well, sure, maybe you don't know anybody else in the area, and you don't want to sell the house yourself. Do you know anybody else? Do you have any friends or family that are looking to sell, whether it may not be in this area, but in another market or another part of the city? Do you have anybody there that might be potentially interested in selling? If you do, I offer $500 referral fees, and once I can close on the house. Okay, business card, hand them a business card. All right, so by doing this, you're doing a couple things, right? You're asking for referrals. Always ask for referrals in sales. 2, you're giving a business card that shows that you offer $500 referral fees. Now you're building an army of bird dogs that knows who you are, that knows what you do, and as they're scouting people, as they're talking to people, as they're talking neighbors, as they're in the neighborhood, they now have their eyes open, thinking about you as somebody that they can refer a house to and get $500. All right. Picture yourself a year later having talked to thousands and thousands and thousands of people that know who you are, that know what you do, that know that you pay referral fees. You've built tons of relationships with nursing homes, assisted living facilities. People are sending their elderly clients your way. You've built relationships with probate attorneys. Probate attorneys are sending their clients and the executors to the estates your way. You've built relationships with wholesalers, and the wholesalers are now sending the deals your way, and they trust you. And you've built relationships with dozens or hundreds of realtors that know who you are, that know what you do, and that have you as one of their pocket buyers. How will your life be different? Right? Your life will be dramatically different. Dramatically. Imagine a network like that, and it never stops. All of these people I just gave you, door knocking, thousands, realtors, thousands, assisted living facilities and nursing homes, dozens or hundreds that are always having new people coming their way, an age group that will never end. And wholesalers, always going to be new wholesalers, and a wholesaler is going to be spending $1,000 on marketing that could potentially be sending your deals your way. So my point with all of this is to show you how powerful the networking and the relationship building can be. Okay, if you build this up, right, these 5 basic contacts that I just showed you, and you work this hard, it'll pay you way more and send you way more deals than all the marketing will ever do. All right, now you have the keys. You have the keys to the kingdom. So guys, all this was completely free. I just wanted you to enjoy it, and I'm not asking for anything in return. So I want you to go out and take action though, because like, again, this is all information. I know this works because I've done it. I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals that have paid me millions of dollars from this exact type of, from these exact type of contacts I just gave you. So, but if you don't go out and take action, then none of it's going to work. And that's really all it comes down to, is you taking the action and getting out there, talking to people and building relationships. You don't have to spend hardly much more than, a few bucks a week on everything I just gave you and some business cards. Everything else is how much energy and how much, essentially the amount of conversations and relationships that you want to build. It's 100% dependent on that. So you have 100% control over your outcome based off of how much energy you want to put out to the world, and how many people you want to talk to. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to talking to you more in the upcoming videos. Talk to you soon.